Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to show you a simple way to create an image to vector effect using Photoshop. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how simple it is to turn a photo to a vector shape just like you see here in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and begin with your original photo, your bobblehead project. Let's go ahead and open that. And what you need to do is make another folder here and call it vector graphic project, because we want to do is we're going to want to double your project. We want to save it as a different project so you won't lose your original bobblehead project in your folder. So we want to make a different. So what you need to do is go ahead and click on your bobblehead project so it can open in Photoshop. So you're going to reopen that one, and it'll open up Photoshop. And as soon as it comes up, and it may take a while, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go to File, and you're going to go to Save As. Okay, so here we go. We go to File and go to Save As, and you're going to save this as, you're going to double click your project. You're going to save it as you're going to title it Vector Bobblehead Project. Okay, and you're going to save it. And I'm going to replace it because I've already done this project, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. You shouldn't have anything, so just rename that Vector Bobblehead Project, and you're ready to go. So let's start. So let's go ahead and take out the background so it doesn't distract us. And so we'll take the eyeball out of that. And then we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and remove the body just for right now. So just focus on the head. That's what we need to do. All right. And so one of the things that we need to really focus on is what we need to, how we need to make this proportional. So we're going to start by creating a duplicate layer. Okay, click on your head, click a duplicate head layer. And we're going to name this head, and it should be head number, let's call this head number 1. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and come to this, and we'll go to the next head, and we're going to call that head number 2. Okay, so we have 2 layers, although you won't be able to tell the difference yet. So we're going to go ahead and take the eyeball out of head 2, so we're focusing on just head 1. And we're going to go up into where it says image, make sure that it's highlighted, and we're going to go ahead and go to adjustments and go to threshold. And this should be right about toward the bottom. So there it is, threshold. And you're going to play with this. And you got to play with this. It gives you a black and white version of your face, and you're going to play with it to see what kind of detail you want. Typically, I'm looking for a balance between the details and kind of the smoothing out of the face. So don't worry about if you didn't get everything. We're gonna use the second layer to kind of get more details on that. So let's go ahead and let's turn that off. Okay, and then we're gonna just go ahead and move the head up. Okay, I'm moving that layer to the top. Now I'm turning that eyeball on. Okay, as you can tell, now you can see we have 2 different layers. You can switch the eyeball on and off to double check to see what layer is on top. So let's go ahead and go to Filter with head number 2. Make sure it's selected. Go to Filter Gallery. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so this is going to give an effect of a photocopy, but I messed up here a little bit, so I'm going to cancel. And what I did here is I've been working on it earlier, so over here on your little color swatch, you need to make sure that it's black. So the top is black and the bottom is white. And these 2 little foreground and background color, black and white, to make sure that this works. So let's try that again. Head 2 is selected. Okay. Then I'm going to go up to Filter, go to Filter Gallery, and now you can see it looks like a photocopy. So look at the preset right there, photocopy. Okay, that's where you should be in Sketch, photocopy. That's where you see the presets, and you're going to play with this one too. You're going to remove the sliders in detail, and in darkness, you're going to slide it around to basically it gives you more detail in it. And so I typically try to get more eyes. I like to look at the eyes to see how this works, and don't worry about all the other details. That'll smooth out eventually to basically give you a balance. Remember, you're going to be combining this with the other one. When you're good and happy, hit OK. And what we need to do here is here's the blending options. Now remember, when you blend, it's going to blend the top layer with the one that's right underneath it. So you selected head 2. So as we work with the blend mode, and we're going to hit multiply, it's going to combine it with the blend mode with the second layer. Now you see how it changes and combine the 2. Now before we move on and affect this further, we do one more step. We need to select both of them, make sure they're both highlighted. Okay, head 1 and head 2. Now we're going to go up to where it says layer, Okay, and sometimes I always forget that I think it's an image, but in reality, you got to go to layer. Okay, and when you hit the layer, you're going to go down, and we need to combine them. So we're going to actually going to go to merge. So go to up again, make sure they're highlighted. Go to layer and go down to where it says merge layers, right there, and you're going to merge them. Now look at your panel, and you only have one layer. It's put both of them together. Now you only have head 2 that it shows. So you have basically all the both layers. They're one layer now. Let's go back to adjustments, and then threshold, image adjustment threshold, and you're gonna play with the threshold again. This time you're gonna play with it. Try to get a balance of detail and smoothness. Okay, the less detail you have, the more of a caricature it will be. So, especially when working with vector graphics, I try to kind of give it a good balance. Just enough to where you know it's still you or still the person you are working with, but not enough to give you all the details that'll make it look super realistic. So I'm happy there. So I'm going to go ahead and now I get to color it up. Okay. And as I'm coloring, I want you to know that we're going to use the paint bucket tool. This is a new tool. It's in your tools panel. You're gonna have to hold it down because it's the middle bucket. And whatever color is chosen in your swatches there, your background for color, that's what you're gonna color. So I'm gonna look at my picture here, and I'm gonna see what kind of use the main color to kind of figure out what colors I actually need. Okay, and so I'm gonna choose it, and again I'm gonna try to figure out what the natural color of, kind of more or less where I'm at as far as my skin tone. And again, you don't have to be realistic. It can be, exaggerated. This is a caricature, so you don't feel like you need to match it perfectly on the spot 100% of the time. And I need to make sure that you understand that, because don't waste a lot of time trying to get the exact skin tone that you had. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna guess it here, and I'll try to select something there, and then when you finally select it, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK, and now you notice it changes. So I'm gonna use the paint bucket tool, and I'm gonna click on it. Wow, that's really pink or pink orange. So I'll click that again, and I'll play with it. Okay, and I'm gonna try to move it around and try to get more natural, because I kind of want to look a little bit different. Yeah, that's all right. That looks more like pop art, so I like that. So notice the paint bucket tool. Whatever you click on, it replaces that color with whatever you have in that little swatch. Now I'm going to magnify it because it only affects regions, meaning that it only affects areas that are surrounded. So by a border. So notice that I have to go and get each little part, and if I want to go ahead and get all the details, I've got to click piece by piece, because once it's enclosed, it won't go outside the lines. So think of it as coloring inside the lines. All right. If there's an opening, it'll go through it, but if not, you're gonna have to go to each one of them. So there, I went ahead and I accidentally hit my tooth. Okay, because there's no. If you notice over here on my teeth, there's like an open tooth, and I'm gonna go ahead and paint that with the paintbrush, because I painted a tooth a skin color. If you notice that little tooth, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set my color to white, because I'm my teeth white. There it is, and I use the paintbrush tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and just paint that one area white. All right, and that's how you colorize, and you get your little pop art color once you're set and ready to go. And again, you can go in and do different things. I don't like the white part of the hair, so I'm going to try to get a brownish. I'll play with a color picker, and I'll try to get a brown color. And I'm going to go ahead and hit um, OK on that. And I'm going to go ahead and get the paint bucket tool again. I like the paint bucket because it just dumps paint on there. And I'll click my little hair. Oops. When I hit if you hit something, it'll replace the color. So just hit undo, Control Z. Okay. Oop. Hit Control Z again. All right, and just go ahead and click around and get all those little parts. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to be super detailed, but you should go in there. Oh, again, if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just go back. Control Z is backwards, and it'll just undo it, and you can work fast that way. Don't spend. Well, I'm not going to say don't spend. I can't spend a lot of time because I'm teaching you this tutorial. But go ahead and get as much detail as you want. Make sure that it looks neat and it's cool. I want these printed out. Okay, so you're also going to turn it into Google Classroom, but you're also going to print one out so I can put it up. So there you go. So there's your face, and it looks all right. Again, this is not supposed to look super realistic. It's supposed to be somewhat of a caricature. It should be some. Think of a newspaper or a comic book. Okay, super detailed, but just enough to make sure we have it. So I'll go ahead and shrink that back up again. Again, that magnify on the bottom left hand corner is where you make it bigger or smaller, and there you go. Now just repeat that exact same process for the body, and you should have the rest. So again, your groove, you go ahead and go and duplicate that layer and continue. Okay. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. If not, repeat this tutorial, and you'll be good to go. All right. Have fun.